Jordan, what's up, man?
How's it going?
How are we cutting your hair today?
I usually keep it at a side part from left to the right.
So you part it here?
Yeah.
And then comb it over this way?
Yeah, I don't really have a hairline for anything too crazy. My hair's pretty thin, so
Okay.
probably take the sides down pretty short.
How close?
Not skin tight at the bottom, but pretty close to it, I'd say.
Maybe like a 1?
Yeah, take it down there.
1 on the side, fade it up.
Yeah.
And then do your comb over. Do you want a hard part or do you want more of a natural kind of
More of a
flow?
natural.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then how much would you like to take off the top?
I mean, I can leave that up to you. I'd say probably take it down a decent amount, but whatever you think will fit with the size level.
Cool.
You know what I mean? I like to give a little bit of creative freedom.
Awesome. All right. So can I just show you what I'm looking at real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Grab this wire in the way. So I don't know if you can see, but I guess you had a side part before and it looked like it's coming from over here.
Yeah.
But in reality, a lot of this hair really wants to just kind of fall the other way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I would like to do is just kind of get it so that it falls this way naturally. So I'm gonna have to bring some of this over. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool, awesome. Now when you're wetting the hair like this, you wanna pay attention to like the roots, like where the hair is coming from and where it's going. So you can see obviously this hair is coming from here and is going down, right? So we can find his cowlick and that swirl and make sure that it lays down, make sure it's not spiking up in the back by just finding out where the hair wants to lay. Also, I'm looking in the front right here and you can see this hair looks like it wants to jump this way. But then this hair, oh man. I had wireless mics the other day and I broke them. You know, it's crazy. So this hair looks like it wants to jump this way, right? This hair wants to go this way, but then this hair wants to go this way. So that's all things that we need to take into consideration when doing his haircut. You don't want to just jump in blind to somebody's head and then they got a piece sticking up that you can't do nothing with later. See, like all of this hair that's hanging over right here, all of this needs to get blended in. And then this is what will be combed over to the side. Start from the swirl right here in the back, start from the cowlick, and go right to the recession. And then if you need to, you can clip it out of the way. Just because he has a lot of hair, I'll clip it. Normally I don't clip it though, because the hair is wet, it's easy to control. You can kind of just move it and it'll stay. But we've got the hair parted. We know what's on the sides and what's on top. We'll do the same thing as before. The system doesn't change. We're gonna do block graduation all the way around. See how this block graduation, this perimeter that we're making right here, is going to follow the part right here. I want it to come meet in the point, and then this side will meet in the point. It will follow this point that's right here. Everything's gonna be symmetrical. Pulling all this hair over in an effort to maintain the length. I don't want it to start spiking up. Like even right here, it looks like it wants to start spiking up. If I took any more off, we'd be in trouble. You want to make sure that the hair is saturated because the wet hair is controllable and the dry hair is going to tell you the truth. So in order to control it while you're cutting it, make sure that the hair is wet. Here's a tip. Here's a tip when trying to wet your client's hair. Don't aim the water bottle directly at their head and spray it, right? Don't do that. You're gonna get them soaking wet. It's aim the water up and mist their hair. That's how you get the hair wet without getting the client soaked. Gotta make sure the client's head. Don't be afraid to move your client's head either. If they're like this and you need their head straight so you can get the right angle on the hair, don't be afraid to just gently move their head back. You know what I mean? You're the barber. You're in control of this situation. You know what I mean? See, look, now we have black graduation. We did a perimeter around the whole parietal ridge. Boom. Everything below here is gonna get cut. He said he wants a #1 on the side. Up here is the scissor work we're gonna do on top. How much did you say we were taking off the top?
2 to 3 of them. So just kind of make it match in and look on the side.
Got you. Cool. But you do want this comb over though?
Yeah.
Yes. Because he's doing a comb over, I'm really just gonna pull all this, instead of splitting it down the middle like I normally do, I'm gonna pull all this hair over, match it up to the black graduation on this side, and then I'll even out the rest later. As you get toward the front, make sure you dip your fingers down, and then when you start working with the fringe like this, bring those fingers out some. Boom. That way we can keep all that length. See that? Now, here's what we got right now though. Now we have short hair over on this side and really long hair on this side. See? See how short this hair is versus how long this hair is? So we need to even that out. But because I pulled this all over and now this is short, I can use this as my guide to go across the rest of the head. So, watch this. I'm gonna start in the front. And what I'm gonna do in order to give his hair, because he has some pretty dense hair, so I want to give it some texture and give it some life so it's not just sitting there. So we're going to point cut. Everything up and cutting straight across. Just matching from that short point straight across, but trying to give it a little bit of peaks and valleys so that it has some texture. But even texture, not all over the place. You know what I mean? This is done in a strategic way. As you can see, when I'm cutting, I'm not just chomping. I'm using my finger to stabilize me, and then I take pieces. That's how you get even texture. My finger is gonna stabilize me. The bottom blade for the scissor is on there. And I'm going straight across. Get that out of his eye. Not too much though, because he needs it. If I cut this too short, it's just gonna spike right up in the front. You know what I mean? If I cut it at the right length, then it'll look really nice. So again, we're gonna point cut because we don't want the fringe to be too blunt. We want it to be a little bit wispy. make sure that the hair is even. And I mean, it looks pretty good. You can see there's a little bit of peaks. Anything where there's something sticking up higher than the other right here is what I'm gonna cut, just to make sure that the whole head is even. It's even this way and it's even this way, horizontal and vertical. Now we're going to dry it so we can really see what the hair is looking like, because like I said before, wet hair is controllable, but dry hair will tell you the truth. You want some product in your hair?
Sure.
Yeah? Yo, my man, I cut myself. You mind if I go wash my hands?
Yeah, no worries.
So, yes, I cut myself, so I had to put a glove on. Gotta be sanitary, y'all. But what we're gonna do now, while his hair is wet, I'm going to add a little bit of product in his hair. You know, the best for the best. 245 indestructible clay. The only clay that gets used in Headlines Barbershop. The realest clay there ever was. Yo, I need an affiliate link, man. Basio, I need an affiliate link. If you're watching this, I gotta get one. Now, the cool thing about using this clay is it has something called bentonite in it, and what bentonite does is it swells up to 6 times when it gets in contact with the water, so it's going to make his hair look a whole lot fuller and a whole lot like more fluffy and voluminous once I blow dry it. What you want to do when you're blow drying your hair, or when you're blow drying your client's hair, is you want to start in the back. Don't start in the front, because then you'll be blow drying dry hair on top of wet hair. You want to do the opposite. So right here, I'm just working on his cowlick area. I just want to get that to lay down nicely. Because we did that block graduation, we're able to have a nice cowlick area that's laying down. He's not going to have it spiking up in a couple days, you know what I mean? What happens a lot of times is barbers will end up cutting their clients. They cut the cowlick too short, then they gotta slap some gel in it in order for the cowlick to lay down. But once the client doesn't have gel in their hair no more, it's spiking up, and they realize that. So then they come to me, and I save their lives. This man is a king right here. You don't want to destroy a king's crown. Right, Loco? He's a king. You don't want to destroy his crown. Later on, you come through with a pompadour comb or something along those lines. Look at the texture that's in there. That's because of that 245 indestructible clay at toon45.com. And he wanted a number 1 on the side. I am going to start with a number 2 just to debulk, and then we'll work our way down from there. It'll be easy. And you can see my number 2 coming right off the head is blending right in. See how I work in panels. So I worked on this side, then I worked on this side, now I'm coming to the back to blend them all in together. It's just easier to do that instead of trying to work all the way around the head at the same time like a typewriter, because you can't really focus on one spot. Here, I can focus on one spot and make sure that it looks good. Then I'll move on to the next spot, make sure it looks good. And by the time that's over, the whole haircut looks good. But you have to focus on what's in front of you instead of getting nervous and being all over the cut. Are you sure you don't want to taper the back out? Personally, I think it would look better. Plus, if you square it off, right, the hair that's below where I square it off is just gonna grow back in a couple days anyway. So you're gonna have a square line with some hair underneath. As opposed to fading it all out, the hair underneath is all just gonna grow back together with the rest of it. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. There's a real balance when it comes to barbering between giving the client what they want and giving the client what they need. You know what I mean? So he asked me for a #1 faded up with the square back. And that's exactly what I was gonna give to him, but I suggested a taper because I think it will look better going forward. It'll add more longevity to the haircut. It'll add more pop to the haircut. He won't have that line with the hair underneath in 2 days. You know what I mean? So don't be, you know, just lazy to the point where you're like, all right, well, you know, now it'd be different if he comes every time and every time he gets a square back. All right, fine, I get it. You want your square back, that's cool. But if you're cutting a new client that you haven't cut before, like, give suggestions. Tell them things that will, one, give you credibility, like, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. But two, it'll make them feel like, and he actually gives a crap about what I look like. You know what I mean? He cares what this haircut looks like. So that's important. Don't be afraid to give suggestions. It makes you look like you know what you're doing. He said we were gonna blend it into the beard, so let's actually blend it into the beard, right? So we've got a #1 here, so we need to blend into that #1. I'm just got my #1 open right here. I'm just gonna lighten that up a little bit. See? That looks way better already, instead of just leaving it like long and fuzzy. Like, he should feel like, yeah, he got a haircut, but he should feel like, wow, this dude actually like cared about what I looked like when I was done. It wasn't just a chop. Oh, make the hair shorter and call it a day. You know, look how long this hair is right here. We can't just leave that. So we'll blend that in to the sides. So that way, even if he didn't, like, his beard's kind of long, he said he was gonna shave it. Even if he didn't want to shave his beard tonight, he could still go out and look like a normal human being, because we actually took some time to care about what he looked like and not just do the bare minimum so that we can get paid. And you take that as far as you want, whether you want to, you know, you hook up somebody's eyebrows or you want to get somebody's nose hair or something like that. Like that, those type of things go a long way with clients. It really does. You're the barber, you charge $25, you get a regular haircut, a #1 all over, but you trim his nose hairs and ear hairs. The other barber down the street charges the same thing, gives him the same haircut, but doesn't trim the nose hairs and ear hairs. Who's he gonna go to? The guy who's getting him freaking ear hairs. Yeah, how's that look? That's good. #1, fade it up, taper the back out. You see what I mean? How it all will just grow back together. Leaving the crown long so that it lays down, no spiky hairs or nothing cuckoo like that. Looking good? You're like a brand new cat, yo.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Looking good? Awesome.